It's another time with Tutor.io, the enthusiastic tutor, and in today's tutorial, it happens to be the continuation of the course DES309, and just as we know how things have been done, we are expected to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We are here to do that, and as well, make use of the comment section to let us know where you are streaming from. Say hi, hello, good evening. Okay, so without further ado, let's go straight into today's class. Now, for those of us who haven't joined the private class yet, let's ensure to join the private class today. All you need to do is just to head straight to our official website, which is www.tutorio.net, and from there, find the WhatsApp button on the top right hand corner. With the WhatsApp button, you get to send us a direct message, and you can make your inquiries on how to go about joining the class. Now, today we are talking about social development. And before we touch on that, we need to understand that there are certain factors and agents of social development. These factors and agents affect social development. So before we talk about social development itself, let's touch on some of these factors. Okay, let's touch on some of these factors. So now, speaking of the factors of social development, we have number one, we need to engage human rights. All right. Speaking of the factors of social development. So we're just going to mention about a few. All right. So we have the likes of human rights engagement. We need to engage human rights. Human rights generally include formally and universally recognized civil, political, economical, social, and cultural rights, okay, available to the people, all right, as humans and members of a society, all right. So when we engage in this, it makes people feel welcome even in their home. Therefore, participating in all what they need to participate in, and this will foster what we know as social, all right, development. So we have engaging, all right, human rights, and these rights has to do with economical rights, all right, social rights, political rights, cultural rights, and the likes. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Isaac Adeka. It's great to have you on board. I think I'm seeing that name for the first time, but it's great to have you on board nevertheless. Okay, please, if you are here to join our private class, ensure to reach out to me after this class so I can add you up immediately. All right, there's a guide you need to go through, and I haven't gone through the guide. You will be, all right, I haven't gone through the guide. You will be required, all right, to make certain commitments, and from there, we'll add you up. Okay, now let's go straight into other things. Okay, Okay. All right. Can we all hear me now? Now, we also have education. Like I said, we'll be making we'll make mention of just few of them. All right. Like I usually say, what we do here on YouTube is more of 40%, 30%, while the remaining 70% is restricted to members in the private class only. So you want to ensure to join the private class. Now we also have education. Now, education has been noted as, all right, it has been noted to encompass the acquisition of skills and knowledge. These skills and knowledge are necessary for the better functioning as a member of society. If literacy level is high in a community or in a society, all right, people tend to act in a civil way. People intend to behave civil, all right, work and act in accordance to the constitution of the state. So the better educated the people, all right, the closer it is to achieving social development. So education is also highly essential and it's one of the factors of social development. Then let's take the last one, which is gender equality. In one of our classes today, I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's Mark 341. We were also talking about that was communication development, all right, where we talked about um, masculinity. That was masculinity honor, all right, meaning that, or masculinity importance. Yeah, we're talking about community development, and it was made mention of that the masculine, all right, the masculine gender is more appreciated when it comes to community development, meaning that men, the gender, are well recognized and acknowledged when it comes to community development. So the argument was that both men and women should be given equal grounds, that both gender can contribute immensely, not apportioning, not, all right, awarding, giving much honorable responsibility to the men and say women are less important. So when we talk about factors of social development, gender equality as against gender inequality goes a long way, whereby male and female are allowed to, all right, are allowed to, are allowed to, are allowed to contribute, make their contributions. Okay, so we have that as that. So now that we talked about the factors, let's talk about the agents. Okay, agents of SD. Now, speaking of the agent of SD, you're most welcome. Speaking of the agent of SD, the first agent we have is the government. The government is the very first agent we have when we talk the agent of social development. The government has a lot of responsibility when it comes to developing the society. The government is a major driver of policies and actions for development. The government has the responsibility to make laws, generate policies, and initiate actions that brings about development. It's basically their responsibility to take care of the citizen. As the citizens are also expected to act in accordance with the policies and law, all right, enacted, all right, by the government. So we have educational or education institutions. So let's just use edu institutions. Okay, educational institutions, just like we talked about education here. So it's the responsibility of these institutions to provide education. So let's take one more, and that will be the traditional society. All right, let's just use trad society. I beg your pardon, that should be trad institutions, not society. Institutions. Just like educational institutions, traditional institutions are almost the same thing as educational institutions, but now traditional societies are particular about influencing. Education also influences the behavior, all right, but traditional institutions are more particular about working on the cultural beliefs, all right, cultural practices, all right, considering the belief system of the people. So it helps them believe in the right path and in the right thing. So we have that. So now that we understand these factors, all right, and we understand these agents. Now, what is social development itself? Okay, what is social development itself? So when we talk about social development, like I said earlier, tonight's class is not going to be a long one. All right. So let's talk about what it means by social development. When we talk about social development, okay, it is generally directed at improving social human stability and progress. When we talk about social development, we are talking about a process. All right. This process is intentional, it is deliberate. The process is all about improving, all right, the collective, all right, intended. So let's use intentional. The collective intentional process aimed at improving, okay, social and human stability. Social, human stability and progress. All right. Or let's say all intentional activities. And change this to all intentional activities aimed at improving social, human stability and progress. All right. So we have that as that. So very quickly, let's touch on the infrastructural development and social development. Infrastructural, that's ID. When we say infrastructural development, we are simply talking about the deliberate construction and improvement of social amenities, facilities, and foundational services, infrastructure, facilities, social amenities, good water, good pipe water, good access to water, good healthcare centers, good access roads, all right, social amenities. When there is a deliberate effort aimed towards developing infrastructures, and under these infrastructures, we have the construction and improvement of social amenities. If there are no hospitals, you build hospitals. If there are no good roads, you construct. Then we have that as infrastructural development. We talked about social development already, so there's no need for us to go back there. There's also what we have here, it's called human development. I'm not putting it down because it's self-explanatory. I've explained this well enough. So human development is also said to be that intentional activity, all right, that is connected, all right, connected to the growth process and enlarges people's freedom and opportunity. All right, enlarges. It's all of them. They are all processes. Enlarges. All right, people's freedom. Okay, and opportunities. All right, opportunities as well as improving the quality of life. Any activity that is targeted at improving the standard of living of the people, then we are talking about human development. So I want us to stop here for today. Although in our next class, we are still going to be talking about human development, but it's going to be detailed. So I'm going to highlight it as we are going to be looking at the UNDP, all right, definition about the UNDP noting 6 basic pillars for human development to be our area of concentration in our next class. So thank you very much, everyone. I believe you'll be able to gain something to this class. Let's ensure to join the private class. Reach out to me after this class. Go to our official website, www.star.net. Send me a direct message. From there, I'll guide you. All right, come in our private class. You don't want to miss out. Bye for now.